$50 Moldavite earring. Who wants it? Bonk! No more boyfriend!
So we're here to answer the question, are you going to lose your boyfriend with Moldavite? Hi, my name is Zamira and I am a clairvoyant and mystic here on the internet, and I wanted to share on my own personal experience with Moldavite because there can be a lot of fear surrounding Moldavite, and I just find it really fun to talk about this stone. I wanted to talk about my own experience and my own psychic insight on what this stone is, the true energy of it, and what is going on. I want to share with you some visions I had in regards to Moldavite. The first vision I got was actually very, very interesting though. I got streaming water. So what that tells me is that this stone is actually very, very cleansing. That surprised me a bit because I always kind of saw it as a realigner. You know, we focus so much on the transformation, but really it is the ultimate stone for cleansing, which is really cool. The other vibe I was getting was that it was just a huge amplifier of energies. And then the last vision was a very classic vision that I also almost was expecting to see, but was a butterfly, which we know what a butterfly stands for, right? Transformation. I also asked for signs whether or not you're ready from Moldavite, just because it does create such intensity in your life, right? So I asked, what are the signs when you are ready? And they actually told me the first and foremost thing was, and whenever I say they, I'm talking to Source, my guides of the highest light. That's who I choose to tap into as of right now, and some Mother Mary consciousness in there as well. You might be ready for Moldavite if, one, you're depressed as fuck, okay? There's a little nuance with the depression point of this, but I was first seeing a vision of somebody who was feeling depressed, like feeling like they were not allowed to be their true selves. They were in a very stifling environment that kind of pushed against their truth, right? And I'm seeing 111 as I say this. This person felt depressed. It felt like there was a lack of life source energy, which is what depression can feel like. It can also feel like a weight around the body. I was sensing that as well. This is the type of person who is really going through it and kind of at a loss on what to do with their life. If you're at this moment, Moldavite may be for you. You know, Moldavite makes things like really intense and shakes things up, but that might be what you need in order to kind of start to bring some life into yourself again. If you're feeling apathetic about your life, then this stone is probably a really good fit for you as well. If you could give less of a shit about what's going on in your life, this stone can really help redirect you. If you're feeling like you need change, you keep pushing for change, but you just don't know whether or not what you're doing is working, or it just feels like it's too hard, Moldavite can work really well for you as well. If you keep on trying to go after particular goals, but it feels like it's an uphill battle to even get there, like it's really hard to close the gap between point A and point B, Moldavite also may help you as well. It will help you in the way where either you're realizing that goal is just not for you, or it helps clarify your goal or make it more sustainable so you can act on it like as soon as possible, or what have you. There's a multitude of ways that it does it, right? Moldavite is not the wish stone. Otherwise it would be called the wish stone. We see it as an aligner, right? So it cuts out what is not for you and brings in what is. If you are also just that kind of person who is full of energy and ready to work, ready to put in the work, Moldavite's also for you as well. Now, I tapped into signs that people are not ready, okay? And it was very interesting what I got. The first sign I got, it looked like somebody who was trying to like pull at certain people and push other things away. It was almost like they were controlling the strings. So that message to me was like, this person is very obsessed with control. So if you are really trying to hold on to stuff that you know is not the best for you, Moldavite is not for you, okay? If you are the type of person who needs to have like some control over everything in your life or a lot of things in your life, particular things in your life, then Moldavite is also not for you. Moldavite really requires you to open up and surrender, right? And if you're just not in the place to do that, it can be very, very jarring, especially if these things have a huge emotional weight to it. Now, there can be a whole conversation here where it's like, oh, well, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Cut it out and get rid of it. But some people are just not there yet. You know what I mean? Some people are just not there and they need things to be let go of softly. Some people need time. Some people need integration. So you talk with yourself on whether or not that's how you feel. Here's the opposite end though. Maybe you feel like that's something you're doing, right? Where you're doing everything you can to keep a job or keep a relationship or blah, 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 blah. And you're worried that Moldavite will take it away and it ends up doing the opposite. There's even more commitment or more growth in where you're at. Take a chance on yourself, you know, like what if this is the right path that you're supposed to be on? You know, that's actually kind of what happened with me. Another thing that is a sign that you might not be ready for Moldavite is if you are very emotionally volatile. I know some of you might be like, oh, but that's a contradiction to depression. I mean, for depression, a lot of times it can be experienced as like irritability and high emotions, but for a lot of people, it's more apathetic. Now, it doesn't matter. I'm going to say what I'm going to say here. My guides are saying if you are overly emotional or have a really hard time controlling your emotions and regulating yourself, this stone might not be for you because it will challenge you. It will challenge you to be the person that you were meant to be, and that takes mental, emotional, and spiritual growth, not just physical things happening in your life, right? It's going to require you to step up, and Moldavite is going to put that pressure on you. Here's the thing is that Moldavite helps with that. It helps make you a stronger person through what means, like what has to happen to get you to that point. Who knows? I recommend that you kind of figure out how to emotionally regulate yourself a little bit before you get into Moldavite, because Moldavite will teach you the lesson through a shove, not necessarily a pat on the back. And the last sign that shows that you're just not ready for Moldavite is that you don't want to change. Everything in your life feels good, or it feels like you want to savor it, or you are just in this place where you kind of want to see where things go. You want to make those mistakes. You want to experience and grow and do all those messy things, right? If you're in that place, don't get Moldavite. Go through your own spiritual growth, your own evolution as well. And for a long time, I definitely was in that place. I wanted to see how I could do it by myself, right? I wanted to see if I could give myself the effects of Moldavite without actually having to buy an expensive ass stone to do it, and it still works, okay? It still works. Let's see, that's what I've had to say about Moldavite. Let's see what you have to say.
Just wanted to say, if you were thinking about getting Moldavite.
Yeah, Moldavite is pretty intense. Here's what it does. Essentially, Moldavite removes obstacles that are between you and the path that you are meant to be on. Any door that has a what if behind it, closed or immediately opened. That situationship that you're in that you're not sure what you are, bye-bye, it's gone. The job that you're thinking about leaving but you can't quite do it, bye-bye, you got laid off. That house you were kicking the tires on buying, all of a sudden it drops in price. When these things happen, they feel like major life shifts, and they can feel really awful at the time they happen. But a year later, you will be in a much better place. That's the power of Moldavite, and if you can't find one right now, it's because you're not ready. Moldavite will find you when it's your time.
Yes, a lot of times major life shifts will happen on Moldavite, and I have had major life shifts, but again, I feel like there's a little bit of a sensationalization here where she's making it seem like it's always going to be awful and it's always going to be this like really cutting everything out of your life that doesn't serve in a very dramatic way. The thing is that I really do feel like this correlates to how good are you already at kind of listening to your own intuition and making sure you're only in situations that are aligned? I could be wrong about that. It's an aligner, right? So if you're already aligned, what is Moldavite going to do? It's going to further cleanse things. It's going to further amplify your experience, right? So that doesn't mean necessarily that it's always going to cut things out all the time. That's one thing about Moldavite that I feel like that needs to be kind of mentioned more, because I feel like a lot more people would take advantage of it if they knew that it's not just going to like heavily cut shit out all the time. But yes, you do have to be ready, and this does happen a lot to people. It happens more often than not, I would say. Nearly everybody that I've seen has Moldavite has something crazy happen. However, not everybody. Some people, not much happens, and the reason for that is because they're already in the right place. So they're going through this like inner transformation rather than like an outer one. You know what I mean?
This is perhaps the worst side effect of Moldavite, and despite selling Moldavite, I'm going to tell you it anyway. My aim is never to gatekeep what's bad and what's good about Moldavite. I'll always be completely honest and let you make up your own judgment as to whether you want to use it or not. Normally when people first use Moldavite, around week 1 or week 2, they'll experience a big surge of emotions, whether this will be feeling upset, feeling teary, feeling angry, feeling really overwhelmed. All these emotions can just bubble up to the surface, and you can just feel really confused as to how you actually feel. This feels really uncomfortable for people, understandably, because your emotions feel a lot.
Here's the thing, I can't say 100% that I remember the first 1 to 2 weeks. However, I do remember noting how odd it was that nothing crazy was happening. I remember having my Moldavite and being like, what the hell? Like, not much is happening. I'm actually really, really confused. I think the reason for this is because I'm a Scorpio rising, Aries moon. So I'm very intense already. Like my emotional landscape, my mental landscape is already very, very intense. And I've done a lot of work to try and kind of navigate that intensity. So, and honestly, this past year has been like really great on me learning how to navigate that intensity and kind of keep a more upbeat attitude about life. So I find I don't think this happens all the time, especially if you're very, very involved in maybe psychology and your mental health and emotional health. Like if you're really into that already and have already kind of created that mental and emotional toolkit for yourself to thrive, you should be fine. However, that's not to say crazy shit has not happened and emotional things have not happened. They definitely have. But within the first 1 to 2 weeks, I was surprised how calm I was. Though I'm sure for most people, this is probably true.
It's actually the Moldavite doing a lot of good to your body and to your energy. And what the Moldavite is doing is it is clearing out any unprocessed emotions from your heart space.
I think it does more than just clear from your heart space. I think it clears like your entire energetic field. But so agree that it does do that cleansing and that emotional processing. I will also say, especially in the beginning of me having the Moldavite, I was actually having some funky heart space issues that I wasn't able to really clear until like months into having the Moldavite. So I don't know if it exactly just works with the heart space. I really do think it works with your entire field.
So that the Moldavite can bring better things to you. So it's essentially freeing up your energy space so it can bring in manifestations, positive opportunities, and just help your soul elevate. But it has to clear out what is stuck first. So anything that's unprocessed and anything that is trapped in here will rise up, and all you need to do is simply allow it space. But once you feel them, you process them, you let them go, you will feel so light and fresh and incredible.
Do I feel lighter with Moldavite? I would say overall, yes, but the process of doing that was hard though. It was hard, and I had to get like a whole other set of training and just all this shit just to be able to navigate it. So So far, my Moldavite experience has been really expansive and really, really helpful. It's been kind of low-key awesome, but again, I'm a Scorpio rising Aries moon, so usually I'm always going through some intense shit and transforming, and oh my god, it's a lot sometimes, truly. I have learned Reiki 1 and 2. Very shortly after getting my Moldavite, I started learning. So I actually practice a lot of intuitive energy clearing on the side of my business, like since I've basically started it, but I've never offered it as a service. And I do believe that this is one of the things that Moldavite is kind of bringing up to the surface, is being able to offer that for other people as well, just because it's really helped me a lot and it's a huge game changer. And honestly, Moldavite kind of does the same thing in a way. It's just energy clearing just helps so much with balancing the body, improving your health, improving your energy levels, removing what doesn't serve, and just helping you overall get to the path that you need to be. You know what I mean? So Moldavite kind of does the same thing, and it's helped me kind of get on that path of finally honoring that part of myself that is into healing. So another thing that it helped me do is get off my tarot cards. I used to do psychic readings with tarot cards. I would do like a combination of my clairvoyance, my clairsentience, and look to the cards to see what messages were coming through. And I've completely made a transition from the cards to just my psychic senses, and it's been amazing. I just feel so much more aligned with it. And this was something that I've had trouble releasing for like the past year. I've been told a long time to let go of the cards, but I was just scared shitless, honestly, and had a lot of imposter syndrome. So I was like, oh my god, like if I do this, what am I gonna do? You know, like what if nothing comes through? Just all of these what ifs, and that totally got cut out of my life. I just got to a point where it just didn't feel true to me anymore. So yeah. But let me know if you want to see my tarot collection, my oracle card collection. I have a lot of cool stuff. I was really afraid that I was going to lose my relationship as I got Moldavite, and actually it just made my relationship better. Now we're like planning a wedding and all that stuff. So I don't want to jinx it because you never know, but so far so good. So just letting you know, if you are a relationship OCD kind of person, get Moldavite. If you're meant to be with that person, you are meant to be with that person. And if you are not, well, the Moldavite will help you get to the right path. So yeah, I've actually fallen deeper in love with my partner and my relationship, and it's been such a blessing to sort of let go of the anxiety I've had all the time about whether or not I was in the right relationship or what have you. So hell yeah. I have also been feeling a lot clearer about where I stand in particular relationships in my life. So with family members, with friendships, business people, like business partnerships and stuff like that. It's very, very clear to me now, like what kind of relationship is appropriate to have with those people in ways that where we don't drain each other. You know what I mean? It can be really easy to have like imbalance in relationships just because, you know, you want to take care of your people, you want to feel taken care of by people. And so I think Moldavite really just kind of reveals to you like what is appropriate for you, what is it that you can sort of sustain for yourself, and like what are the wounds that maybe cause some energy imbalances as well. It really helps you heal all of that too. And so I've been very, very grateful for that, because that was a huge struggle that I've had for a long time that even therapy was just not helping with. Last but not least, it really, really helped me with certain spiritual, emotional, and mental blocks. Like first thing, imposter syndrome, like getting into just pure psychic readings, but also being a small business owner as a mystic, like, you know, you feel like a crazy person. You're like, am I worthy of doing this? Blah, 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 blah. 411, that's my career number. The Moldavite really helped me realize, yes, like, girl, you're in the right spot. Okay, so let's figure out all the shit that makes you feel like you're not in the right spot, and let's clear that out. So I'm just like so unbelievably grateful for this freaking stone. And if you were feeling like you need a pick me up, you need a change, you need to get things going, get yourself some Moldavite, queen. I hope it helps you with wherever you're at in your life. But beware, it can be intense. Anyway, bye! And if you're interested in a psychic reading or a healing, go to my website, swordandseer.com. And if you are wanting to learn more about mysticism and how to apply it in your everyday life, I have created a guide, the Heart-Led Mystics Guide. It's available in the description, and I'll see you next time.